Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching my presentation. My name is Emily Seidel. I'm the assistant softball coach at Hamilton College. We are a NCAA Division III program located in central New York. And the topic I'm going to be speaking about today is how to be purposeful in coaching and leadership. So to introduce this topic, to be purposeful, in my mind, means to be intentional in everything that you say and do, to clearly define and understand why you are in your career field, why you are coaching, why you're in leadership, and what you want to achieve, so that when you have to make decisions and you have to run a program, you will have a guideline for everything that you do. And so, in my own words, the definition of purposeful is to have a clearly defined reason behind everything you do and say in pursuit of a goal, and to pursue that goal with intent, thoughtfulness, and consistent behavior. There's a coaching expression that I've been familiar with for a few years now called know your why. And it's just a really simple way of saying, have that purpose that you can turn to whenever you have to make a decision or just run your program. Even the details of everyday stuff involved in running a program um, need to be purposeful, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for a team of athletes, real people who want to be successful and who are turning to you and trust you for getting them to achieve their goals. So understanding your why is going to help you build trusting relationships with your athletes. It's going to help you be consistent in behavior. It's going to help you have clarity in your decision-making process. And it's going to help you be able to stand behind any decisions that you make in a difficult situation, because your decisions are not always going to be popular. You're going to have to make tough decisions all the time as a coach or as a leader. And you need to be able to explain those decisions to others and also be able to stand behind them, so they can continue to trust you even when they don't agree. And in general, just having a purpose and having a why is going to ensure that you're always giving your best effort when it comes to instruction or communication or overall leadership. The first example that I've given for this, I have a couple of clips here from Captain America, the First Avenger, and he's a fictional comic book character, but he's a great example of leadership. And, he starts from nothing, this scrawny little guy from Brooklyn. He eventually becomes chosen for this project to become the first super soldier. He's chosen because his purpose is one of good character, wanting to be the guy that lays down his life for his country, gives everything that he has for his country, and everything he does reflects that purpose. When he's in boot camp being trained, he is an excellent example of everything they're looking for in a soldier, and he wants to give everything that he has, and everything he does reflects that. Everything he says, everything he does. So this is how he is able to become successful and become the first Avenger. Another example I gave is Herb Brooks from the movie Miracle. In 1980, the coach Herb Brooks led the USA men's hockey team to a gold medal win that they didn't have any business winning, because the Russian team was so good. And yet Herb Brooks got his team to win the gold medal by he had a very unconventional coaching style and communication style, and a lot of people questioned him and his ability, but he stayed true to his purpose, which was to bring out the best character that his players had to give. And even when he was making unpopular decisions or being temperamental, everything he did had a purpose. And there's actually a ton of clips throughout this movie that would exemplify that, but I've chosen three here that really show how intentional he is in everything he does, and it pays off. So whatever your purpose is in coaching is going to be reflected in how you run your program, the details, practice planning, coaching philosophy, which I'll go over. But the most common purposes, I would think, are love of the game, desire to make a positive impact on athletes' lives, and winning. My personal purpose is to make a positive impact on my athletes' lives. But this includes winning and love of the game, because they all kind of go hand in hand. So I think enhancing my players' college experience and having a positive impact on their lives includes being a winning team, because that's more fun, and loving the game because that's more fun. Um, so practice planning, whatever purpose you have, is going to be reflected in the type of practice that you design. So if you are focused only on winning, you might have more boring and stressful practice, which there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but you might be focused on fundamental drill work or kind of monotonous drill work or competition-based drills. If your focus is on love of the game, you might be looking for something more fun for your players without so much of a stress on excellence. Our approach at Hamilton College is to try to keep a variety in our drill work and mix things up so things don't get too monotonous. We will always have a focus on winning because it's important to be competitive and to have goals and to want to do our best, but we'll never forget love of the game. So whenever we design a practice, we will always incorporate something that makes our players appreciate the game and want to be out there on the field and not feel like they're just doing work and this is a job. Another area is coaching philosophy. So if you, whatever your purpose is going to be reflected in your coaching philosophy and even the team handbook that you hand out to your players. So someone who is only focused on winning might not run a program with behavioral standards, or they might not care how their players are acting outside of, showing up to practice and games and performing. A coach who wants to build relationships and is focused on the person first priority is going to have behavioral standards because they care how their players are respected and how they're presenting the program and their teammates. At Hamilton, we do believe that our players are people first and athletes second, and it's very important that they are respected, that they are displaying what kind of character we want our team to display. We have a very strong team culture grounded in respect, and so we have behavioral standards outlined in our coaching philosophy. And that really has nothing to do with wins and losses, but wins and losses will result from that when our team is working as a unit, when they're respecting each other, when they are respecting others, and when they understand what kind of effort and attitude needs to be given. So those behavioral standards really go a long way in creating success in, actual results on the field and not just creating a positive environment for our players. And the Bible also has plenty to say about purpose, and I picked out 3 verses that I think really reflect what God has to say. So the first is Mark 12:30-31, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. This is a really great verse because the golden rule is something that we take for granted, but it really is kind of a universal guideline, and pretty much almost every culture has a version of this. And so if your focus is on loving others and putting them before yourself, that's going to be reflected in how you run your program. So it's not just being nice to your players, but it's also wanting to see them succeed, wanting to see them, get the best out of them. And that's going to be evident in how you are instructing them, how you're communicating with them, and everything that you do is going to be for the purpose of seeing them succeed, loving them, and wanting them to be their best. The next verse is Ephesians 2:10. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. And Matthew 5:14-16. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So if we are focused on glorifying God and being a light, then again, like the golden rule, everything we do is going to reflect that we are trying to shine a light on others, to serve others, and to get the best out of them in the way that we coach. So being intentional and making sure that we are putting them first and being a light to them is going to lead to success and good results on the field, because your players are going to feel valued. They're going to feel like you care about them, and also like you're a leader that they can follow because you're consistent in your behavior and because you show so much respect and discipline. So in conclusion, being purposeful, I think, is probably the most important trait that a successful leader or coach can have. And understanding your purpose and living it day by day is going to make you the kind of leader that people will want to follow, and it's going to end in good results. And I think that being purposeful is something that athletes will be drawn to and will want to work for. So thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you.